All right, we're back with our rough mock-up of the sheath out of the press. I have it all formed to the knife itself. One of the first things that I do is I trace myself an outline of the knife on the sheath so I can get a reference point of where it's sitting inside the sheath. Use a ruler to give myself a little bit of a layout on where I'm going to want my rivets and or holes for lashing it to a pack or to some accessories that you can also make to put on the sheaths themselves. And by outlining the knife, I give myself a reference point of where it's at so I know where to drill my holes. Obviously, the closer my holes are to this line, the slimmer profile the sheath's going to have, but the only problem is the closer you get, the more chance you have of binding the blade up as you slide it in and out. By putting those 3 layers of masking tape on each side, I've given myself a little bigger cavity inside than the blade itself. But the further away you go, the easier it's going to slide in and out. So I've given myself a pretty good rough idea of where I want all my holes at to drill for the rivets. I use aluminum pop rivets. Just like with the plastic you can buy Kydex to make your sheaths out of, we use the sewer drain pipe. Depending on where you live, to give yourself an idea, you can buy a 10-foot tube of 4-inch sewer drain Schedule 20 for usually anywhere from $10 to $15. You can buy a couple small sheets of Kydex for $10 to $15. So the amount of plastic you can get out of the sewer drain is much more feasible for my budget. Giving you an idea of where we're going here, once we get all the holes drilled, we'll have the profile of where we're going to be putting everything, rivets, holes for lashing, and we'll be able to start actually shaping the sheath around that. This is one of the first sheaths here that I made. I talked about this a little bit in the first video, being able to run paracord through. This one actually has a molded belt loop that if I take all the paracord out, it comes off and you're back to just a plastic sheath that also has a molded piece in front to hold a nylon pouch, accessory pouch, put in there a knife or anything you want to carry with you with your knife when you have it on you. So just some options you have. What we're going to do at this point, we're going to go ahead and use a center punch to punch where I want my holes to be and start drilling those out. I do leave it riveted together so I can drill both pieces at the same time. Keeps it from wanting to move around on me. So we'll get these holes drilled out and then we'll come back to you. Alright, got all of our holes drilled. I use 1/8 inch by 5/8 aluminum pop rivets to hold the sheath together, and I've drilled larger holes between my rivet holes with a 3/16 drill bit. That way I have plenty of room to run most standard size of paracord through there for lashing it. At this point we're ready to go ahead and cut these rivets out, so I'll have 2 separate pieces of plastic again. It's important that you do this. It's kind of hard to see, but a lot of material gets flung between these 2 pieces of plastic while you're drilling. So I want to go ahead and get that opened up so I can take another knife or something, clean all that out. So when I do rivet them together, they're going to squeeze together as nice as possible. Because when I sand them away, I don't want big gaps in my edges and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and use a Dremel with a cutoff. We'll just cut these little areas out. And we'll come back once we have the 2 pieces apart and cleaned up and ready to rivet back together.